There is not much worse in life than when someone doesn't listen. When they're not listening, they're not paying attention, and you're trying to tell them something that's really important, whether it's a doctor or your husband or wife or your kids or your supervisor who says, well, you should have finished this project last week. Why didn't you? Whatever it is, when you try to explain and you try to make it as clear as possible and they're not listening, or if they're listening, they are flat ignoring or disrespecting you, dismissing you. That is the worst. I absolutely hate it. It happened to me. It's been going on. I had cataract surgery in my left eye in February. It's been almost 2 full months. I've went back to the surgeon. Well, I have my day appointment, my 24-hour later appointment. I have my 1 week later. I went back again, another like 3 weeks later. And then yesterday they sent me somewhere else. And I'm telling them I can't see. So frustrated. I'm still frustrated. I'm telling them I cannot see. I told them I have all these stories, incidents where I can't see. One day, not too long before my 3-week appointment, because at my week-long appointment, they said, well, take these eye drops. They gave me some moisturizing drops. Use these every 2 hours, and we'll see if it helps with because you got inflammation. Your eyes are just really irritated, and cataracts look great. They look irritated. So use these drops. Didn't change a thing, nothing. So when I'm sitting there, I am crying. I'm not just sad or I feel like crying. I am crying, and I've been crying at home for weeks. I'm crying. I can't see. I told him a story the day or two before. I'm driving. It was a little bit rainy, not really, mostly just overcast. I'm driving down the road, which I do for my job. I drive and I work on a computer. Worst 2 things in the world to be doing when you can't see. And I see this furry light coming at me. Well, not directly, but this furry light coming on the other side of the highway. It was practically on top of me, practically abreast of me before I recognized it was a motorcycle. I couldn't tell. I could not see. On my way to the surgeon that day, along the highway, there was a billboard. Everybody knows how big those are. A billboard. And it had words. I don't know what they said. But about the time I got close to it, I could read, "We buy cars." Huge. I bet the letters were as big as me. And I told everybody there. Anybody that walked past me. The lady was emptying trash. I told her. Everybody that walked past me. I don't know why. Everybody I know, they had cataract surgery, big nothing burger. I would ask people for details they couldn't even remember because it's so nothing having cataract surgery. I can't see. And I was really frustrated. And I'm telling him these stories, and I'm telling him what is going on. Well, we want you to be happy. We don't want to give you your other surgery until you're happy. I said, I don't care about being happy. I want to see. I don't care. You don't have to make me happy. I want to see. That's all I want out of you, doctor. So anyway. So they sent me, it's a colleague, another, you know how these offices are, they're all over the place. The same company, they've got all these different offices. So I went to a different location yesterday, and they figured I was going to have to get glasses for my left eye that had the surgery. Then I could see well enough to have my right eye done in a few weeks. And then I would go back and get more glasses because glasses are so cheap. But then I could go back again and get more glasses and throw the first ones away, and then I'd be able to see. I get there yesterday. and the technician, or whatever you call them, the first people that measure you and everything, she had me read across the room and without my glasses. And she said, your left eye is almost perfect. What's the problem? I'm like, what? Then why can't I see? So the doctor came in and I asked her, I said, am I the dumbest, most dense person who's ever had cataracts removed, or has no one explained to me what is happening with my eyes? Because your technician just told me my vision is almost perfect in my left eye. Why can't I see? Finally, she listened to me and she explained it. Your brain is not wired. You have one eye that has not had cataract surgery yet. It is trying to see close up because it cannot see far away. You have your other eye cannot see close up because you've had cataract surgery. So it is trying to focus down the road. Well, your brain is not wired that way, that you can see close up and distance at the same time, because your eyes, of course, they want to focus together. They work as a team. So they're trying to focus together and they can't. Plus, I'm still wearing my glasses. I can't see through these glasses with my left eye because I've had cataract surgery. So the prescription no longer works. So next week, I'm going to go get my other eye done. Why in the world did they not tell me that the first place I went to? They just were acting like, well, you have epithelial basement membrane dystrophy, which I don't really know what that is. It's where your cornea is all lumpy and bumpy and it's hard to filter light. I have that, and I'm always going to have it. I was born with it. I'm always going to have that. So that was affecting it. Severe dry eye, whatever. Plus, I'm kind of whiny. I don't know what they were thinking. Anyway, the second doctor yesterday, she explained and told me, you're not crazy. Of course, the first people didn't accuse me of being crazy, but she stopped typing on her computer the whole time I'm talking to her, because that's what doctors do. The whole time you're talking to them, ooh, really? Ooh, that's not good. And they're typing. I don't know, maybe they were online shopping. I don't know what they were doing, because they were not listening to me. Comment below if you've ever been to a doctor and they don't listen. My mother always says this, but I hate to use the word hypochondriac, but she kind of is, because she goes to the doctor for every little whip stitch. And she gets irritated because they don't seem to listen. And when I'm telling her my story yesterday, I was so fired up. When I'm telling her my story yesterday, she's like, Teresa, I've told you that. Doctors don't listen. Not always. The doctor yesterday, I don't know her name. Yeah, I do. I do know her name. Anyway, she listened. And she actually took a minute to explain to me what is happening. She said for her cataract surgery, the worst period of her life was in between eyes. From between the first eye and the second eye, it was horrible. She had the worst time seeing, focusing, all that, because her eyes were trying to do different things, and your brain doesn't do that. So she said for that period of time, misery. But as soon as she got the second eye done, she was able to buy corrective lenses for both eyes, and both eyes are now doing the same job, working in sync, and everything's fine. Why didn't the first doctor tell me that? Instead of making me think I was going to be blind the rest of my life. And I'm the only person in the world that cataract surgery did not work for. I'm sorry. I'm just so frustrated. So comment below and let me know, has a doctor ever done this to you? And we won't even have to get into husbands. Oh, God love them. Husbands and kids. My husband was so good. Let me know if your husband does this, or your wife, if you're a guy and you're watching. I'll be talking to him, and he's got his eyes on the TV or on his computer screen. And I'm telling this big story, like what happened to me yesterday. I'm telling him this big story. And he's reading. And I would say, you're not even listening to me. Yes, I am. You just said, and he would quote it back to me what I had just said. Well, that's great that he could quote it back, but I still do not think he was listening. He was not, he was hearing, but there's a difference. When you're hearing people, yes, you can hear, but he wasn't listening. He wasn't engaging. And it's the worst. And I'm sorry, I just had to come on here and vent. I also apologize because I have not posted videos lately because I'm trying to learn how to edit. Everything I read, everything I see, it doesn't, they make it sound like, oh, this is so easy. Clip and click on here and bring it down and pull and stretch and twist and turn and add colors and add music and all that. I don't care about none of that stuff. I just want to, if I sneeze or if my phone rings, I don't want to have to redo the whole video because my phone rang in the middle of it or I sneezed. I want to clip that, just clip, 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 clip. That's it. That's all I want to do. That they tell you all this fancy stuff, but just the simplest little thing. And then when they do tell, when I do what they do tell me, it doesn't work because then I lose my sound. And then I don't know when to end the clip because I can't hear. All I can do is see my gorgeous face. Anyway, how do you react when people aren't listening? They're not engaging. They're not paying attention. Yes, they can quote back what you say. Maybe. I don't know if that doctor could or surgeon, if he could have at all, because I don't think he was listening to anything, just telling me, you know. But the doctor today or yesterday, she said, get some really good eye drops. I use this, but she said there's so many different formulas. So I've got a couple different eye drops, different strength, super duper super. I have severe dry eye. So, and you start using these. They said get you a good pair of readers. I'm sure you have those because after the second surgery, I'm not going to be able to see anything until I get new glasses. Well, of course, I'll have to go get a new prescription and then get new glasses. That could be a couple of weeks. So I'm not going to be able to see anything. Hopefully I can drive. She said, hopefully your right eye will be perfect. And, so you'll be able to see, I can see exit signs finally. That'd be great. Red lights. I can't tell if a light is red or green until I'm practically on top of it. That's not good. Anyway, that's my experience with cataract surgery. I know you probably had them. Everybody has. So hopefully your experience is better. And if you have that epithelial basement membrane dystrophy, like I do, comment below and let me know how you deal with that. I guess it's not a big deal. You just have to keep your eyes hydrated and, you know, you wear glasses. You're not going to be like a lot of people who have cataract surgery and they don't have to wear glasses. You do have to. So I guess that's really the only big thing. They can't get rid of it. They can't do anything about it. Just, you know, doctor it. But let me know how your surgery went or what do you say to your spouse, your loved one, your children when you tell them something and they're like, yes, I'm listening, but they're not hearing. Your supervisor, it can be so frustrating. Your supervisor says, you need to be at this percentage of productivity by Wednesday. Why is that project not done? And you tell that you try to explain why you did not get all this stuff done and why it wasn't you, the instrument that you're working on. I work for the federal government and they give us these computers, whatever the programs are. There are times the instrument will not allow you, I'm looking at my cat. There's times the instrument will not allow you to go down a certain path to where you need to end up. The computer will not do it. Then I get calls from my regional office. Why didn't you do this correctly? I know my job. Thank you very much, because you just got out of college 6 months ago. I know my job. The computer, the program would not allow me to do it. It does that sometimes. And they're like, uh-huh. well, all you would have to do is do this or do that. It's like, I'm aware the computer would not let me do this or that. Whatever. People don't listen. I'm sorry. It's so frustrating. Does it get worse the older we get? Do people listen even less the older we get? I sure hope not. I never plan to go back to the surgeon. Yesterday, when I'm scheduling my other eye, she said, well, you can come down here and it'll be Dr. So-and-so, unless you'd rather go back up to the first surgeon that you saw. I'm like, no, that's fine. That's good. I didn't say why. Hello, Mercy. You're a pretty girl. I didn't say why. I did not. I'm thrilled. I do not have to go back to that first surgeon. Anyway, let me know what kind of experiences you've had and how do you get people to listen besides just repeating yourself, which turns you into a nag, or raising the volume of your voice. I'm not really sure how to make them listen. Like this cat, she doesn't listen. She runs this place, does what she wants. Mommy's trying to do a video here, but she's just walking back and forth because I think she wants me to let her out. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for letting me vent. Let me know if you have a great way to make people listen, make people hear you, make people pay attention and take you seriously and not dismiss you when you're upset about something. If you haven't figured out, let me know. Post a YouTube video about it, and I guarantee it, you'll get 1 million clicks. Have a great day.